In the small coastal town of Astoria, Oregon, life moved slowly. Too slowly for dreams, too quickly for regrets. Ethan Miller learned this early. At 22, he woke every morning before sunrise, not because he wanted to, but because silence felt safer than sleep. The house he lived in still smelled faintly of coffee and old books, reminders of a mother who never returned from the hospital. Ethan didn't talk much, he didn't laugh loudly, he didn't expect miracles. He worked at a second-hand bookstore near the harbor, Harbor Pages, where broken spines and forgotten stories felt familiar. People passed by every day, but few truly entered. Ethan liked it that way. Until that afternoon. The sky darkened suddenly. Rain poured like it had been waiting all day to fall. The bookstore door burst open. A girl ran inside, breathless, soaked, laughing at her own bad luck. "I think the rain is angry today," she said to no one in particular. Ethan looked up, and for the first time in years, his world shifted. Her name was Emily Carter. She had tired eyes, hopeful eyes, the kind of eyes that looked like they were searching for something even she couldn't name. A camera hung from her neck like a promise. "Sorry," she said, brushing wet hair from her face. "I didn't mean to flood your store." Ethan smiled, softly, almost surprised at himself. "You're safe here," he replied. Emily wandered the aisles slowly, touching books as if they were alive. She stopped at the poetry section and pulled out a worn book. "This one feels honest," she said. Ethan nodded. Honest stories usually survive the longest. When she paid, Ethan slipped a folded paper into the book. She didn't notice. Not yet. That night, Emily opened the book in her small apartment. The note fell out. "Some stories begin quietly, like rain." She smiled. The next day, she came back, and so did the next. They talked about nothing, then everything. Dreams, fears, life. Emily spoke about photography, about capturing pain and beauty in the same frame. Ethan spoke about buildings, about creating spaces where people felt safe. One evening, standing near the harbor, Emily asked softly, "Do you believe people meet for a reason?" Ethan looked at the ocean, then at her. "I think some people meet to remind us we're alive." Emily smiled, and without realizing it, they had already begun falling. The rain stopped coming, but Emily kept returning. Every afternoon after classes, she walked into Harbor Pages as if it were part of her routine. Sometimes she bought books, sometimes she didn't. Sometimes she just sat quietly in the corner, editing photos on her laptop, stealing glances at Ethan when she thought he wasn't looking. Ethan noticed everything. The way she bit her lip while concentrating, the way her laughter filled empty spaces, the way silence felt lighter when she was near. One evening, as the sun dipped into the sea, Emily asked, "Do you ever take breaks?" Ethan smiled. "Only when someone reminds me." They walked along the pier that night, wooden planks creaking under their steps. Emily took photos of the lighthouse, the boats, the sky, but none of them satisfied her. "What are you looking for?" Ethan asked. "Something real," she said. She turned the camera toward him and clicked. "That," she whispered, "that's real." Moments become memories. Days blurred into weeks. They shared cheap coffee and expensive dreams. Ethan showed Emily his sketchbook, pages filled with houses that didn't exist yet. "This one," he said, pointing to a small coastal home. "This is my favorite." Emily studied it carefully. "It feels warm," she said, "like someone waits there." Ethan looked away. "Maybe they do." Emily framed the drawing with her camera. She titled the photo, "Home." Winter arrived quietly. So did love. On cold nights, they sat in Emily's apartment, wrapped in blankets, listening to old vinyl records. Ethan talked about his mother for the first time. Emily listened without interrupting. her hand gently holding his. "I stopped believing in happiness when she died," Ethan admitted. Emily rested her head on his shoulder. Maybe happiness didn't leave. Maybe it was just waiting. The night, everything changed. On Christmas Eve, snow fell for the first time that year. They stood on a hill overlooking the town, lights glowing below them like fallen stars. Emily's breath fogged the air. "I used to think love was loud, dramatic, perfect." Ethan looked at her. "And now?" "Now I think love is quiet. It feels like peace." Ethan's heart raced. "I love you," he said suddenly, raw, unplanned, honest. Emily froze, then smiled, then cried. "I've loved you since the rain," she whispered. They kissed beneath the falling snow. No fireworks, no music, just two hearts finally speaking the same language. Dreams begin to pull. Spring arrived with color and questions. Emily received an email one afternoon while sitting in the bookstore. Her smile faded as she read it. "What is it?" Ethan asked. She hesitated. "New York," she said. "Big agency, big chance." Ethan felt the world tilt, but he smiled. "That's incredible," he said. "But it's far and long." They didn't talk much that night. Later, sitting by the ocean, Emily asked the question she feared most. "If I go, will we survive?" Ethan stared at the waves for a long time. Then he answered quietly, "Love isn't about holding someone back. It's about holding on, even when it hurts." Emily cried in his arms. The promise. On the night before her departure, they sat on the same pier where everything had begun. "I'm scared," Emily said. "So am I," Ethan replied. He took her hand and placed it over his heart. "This beats for you, no matter the distance." Emily smiled through tears. "Then wait for me." Ethan nodded. "I always will." The train whistle echoed in the distance. And love took its first real test. The morning Emily left Astoria, the sky was clear, almost cruel in its calm. Ethan stood on the station platform holding her suitcase, feeling its weight as if it carried every word they hadn't said. Emily adjusted the strap of her camera, her eyes scanning his face like she was trying to memorize him. "I hate that it's sunny," she said softly. "It should be raining." Ethan smiled, though his chest felt hollow. Maybe the rain already did its job. The announcement echoed through the station. Final boarding call. Emily stepped closer, wrapping her arms around him. For a long moment, neither of them moved. "Don't forget me," she whispered. Ethan pulled back just enough to look into her eyes. "I'd have to forget myself first." She kissed him, slow, careful, like a promise, and then she was gone. The train pulled away, and suddenly, Astoria felt empty. New York City moved at a speed neither Ethan nor Emily could match. Emily's days blurred together, subway rides, flashing cameras, deadlines that never ended. She loved photography more than she had ever imagined, yet every shot felt hollow without Ethan there to see it. One rainy evening, standing on the rooftop of a tall building, Emily looked out at the endless city lights. They glittered like a million tiny dreams, but none of them felt hers. She whispered into the wind, "I want him here." Halfway across the country, in Astoria, Ethan sat on the pier where Emily had left. The waves crashed against the rocks, relentless and cold, much like his longing. He studied his sketches, trying to find comfort in lines and shapes, but every house he drew felt empty. Every line ended where she wasn't. The slow drift. Distance began to take its toll. Emily missed calls. She replied late to messages. She seemed distracted during video chats. Ethan noticed the smallest changes. The way her smile was delayed, the way her eyes seemed distant even when she looked at the screen. He couldn't stop worrying. "Are you okay?" he asked one night over a call. "I'm fine," Emily said quickly. I'm tired." "I miss you," Ethan admitted. "I miss us." "I do too," she whispered, but the warmth was gone from her voice. They hung up in silence. The breaking point. 3 months into her internship, Emily was offered a chance to travel across the country for a major photography project. It was the opportunity of a lifetime, but she would be gone for months. She called Ethan. I have to go," she said. "I can't refuse this." Ethan felt the world tilt again. He wanted to scream, to beg her to stay, but he didn't. "You have to follow your dream," he said, voice steady though his chest hurt. "I'll wait." Emily cried silently. "I hate that waiting feels like losing." Ethan swallowed the lump in his throat. It's not losing, it's loving enough to let go. Loneliness set in. Days turned into weeks. Weeks became months. Ethan's routine became mechanical. Bookstore, classes, empty apartment. The ocean became his only companion. He wrote letters he never sent, sketches she would never see, and whispered into the wind, "Come back to me." Emily's life in New York and the road trips for her project were thrilling, but lonely. Nights in hotel rooms, staring at photos of Ethan, she realized that every success felt smaller without him. Every applause echoed emptily. They texted less, calls were rushed, frustration crept in. Small arguments turned into cold silences, and yet neither could bring themselves to give up. The near end. One night, after a particularly long and tiring day, Emily called Ethan. "I can't do this anymore," she said, tears streaking her face. "I feel like I'm losing myself and us." Ethan's voice cracked. "Don't say that. Don't give up on us. Not now, not ever." "I don't know if I can be enough for you while I'm chasing my dreams," she whispered. "You are enough," Ethan said firmly, holding back his own tears. "And I'm enough for you, even if we're apart." They hung up in silence. Both sat in silence, staring at walls and city lights, wondering if love could survive such strain. A glimmer of hope. Weeks passed. The pain of missing each other began to shift into determination. They realized they were willing to fight for love, despite distance, despite pressure, despite fear. Emily sent Ethan her favorite photograph of the sunset she captured in the Rockies. A simple note, "No matter where I am, I'm yours." Ethan replied with a sketch, a small house, lights glowing inside, a figure waiting by the door. He wrote, "I'm waiting, always." For the first time in months, they felt that old spark, the reminder that love was still alive. Spring was ending, but for Ethan, the world had grown colder. He received the call late one evening. His father, his anchor, his quiet strength, had passed suddenly. A heart attack. No warnings, no time. Ethan felt the ground disappear beneath him. The bookstore, the sketches, the ocean, they all seemed meaningless now. He wandered through the empty rooms of his home, staring at the places they had shared, wishing she was there. He reached for his phone. A single thought echoed, "Emily, I need her now." Thousands of miles away, Emily sensed the distance in Ethan's voice over their last call weeks ago. Something in the air told her he needed her, not just for comfort, but to remind him that life could still hold light. She booked the first flight to Astoria. When she arrived, Ethan was already at the pier, staring at the waves as though searching for something lost in their depths. He didn't notice her approach. "Ethan," she called softly. He turned, and for a moment the world stopped. The city streets, the rain, the distance, they all vanished. Only Emily remained. Without words, they embraced. She felt the weight he had carried, the grief that had nearly broken him. He felt her warmth, the familiar presence that reminded him why love had always been worth it. Emily stayed. She didn't speak of New York. She didn't apologize for leaving. She simply held him as he cried, laughed as he smiled again, and slowly, day by day, rebuilt the bridge between them. Together, they walked the pier, Ethan sketching again, Emily photographing moments he could never fully describe. They returned to Harbor Pages, not as employees, not as strangers, but as partners in a story they were writing together. Ethan realized grief was easier to bear when shared. Emily realized that dreams could wait for the right moments without losing their power. One evening, under a sky painted in oranges and pinks, Emily spoke. "I almost let us go," she admitted. "I thought distance and life would break us." Ethan held her hands. "And we almost let it, but we didn't, and that's what matters." They walked quietly along the beach, letting the waves kiss their feet, letting silence fill the spaces where words weren't enough. The months of longing, the fights, the distance, it had all brought them here, stronger, wiser, more certain than ever. Ethan returned to the small house he had once sketched, a home waiting for love to fill it. Emily helped him decorate, adding her photographs, their memories captured in frames on the walls. One night, standing on the porch, Ethan looked at Emily. The ocean whispered below. The stars hung like promises above. "Emily," he said softly, voice steady, "I don't want to wait anymore. I don't want distance. I don't want time to separate us again." She looked at him, heart racing. He dropped to one knee, pulling a small velvet box from his pocket. "Will you stay with me? Not just today, but forever." Tears filled her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." They embraced, the ocean roaring approval beneath them, the stars watching silently, as the world finally felt complete. The days that followed were filled with quiet joy. Ethan and Emily moved into the small coastal house Ethan had once sketched. Sunlight poured through the windows, warming the wooden floors. Emily's photographs lined the walls, capturing their laughter, their tears, their journey. For the first time in years, Ethan felt truly at peace. Emily felt the same. The ocean whispered outside, constant and eternal, like their love. Dreams realized together. Emily's photography career flourished. Agencies sought her work. Her exhibitions sold out. But this time, her success was shared. Ethan was always by her side, helping her see moments she might otherwise miss, reminding her why she began this journey in the first place. Ethan's architecture career took off too. He designed small homes with warmth, spaces that felt like safe harbors. And Emily often photographed them, showing the world that love could inhabit not just hearts, but homes too. Together, they traveled, capturing sunsets, exploring new cities, but always returned to Astoria, where their story began. Love deepens. One autumn evening, they walked along the pier where Ethan had awaited during Emily's long New York absence. "Do you remember this place?" Emily asked, smiling. "How could I forget?" Ethan replied. "This is where waiting became worth it." They sat in silence, letting the waves speak for them. No arguments, no distance, no uncertainty. Only love, steady, calm, and deep. Marriage and forever. Months later, under the soft glow of lanterns and the scent of the ocean breeze, Ethan and Emily held each other's hands in front of family and friends. "I promise," Ethan said, voice trembling with emotion. to love you through every distance, every storm, every tomorrow. Emily smiled, tears glistening. I promise to choose you every single day. They kissed as the waves clapped against the shore, and for the first time, neither rain nor distance could touch them. Epilogue. A life well loved. Years passed. Emily and Ethan watched their small home fill with laughter, memories, and a few little footprints, reminders that love grows even with time. They traveled when they could, but Astoria remained their center, the place where a rainy day had brought them together. They often returned to Harbor Pages. The old bookstore still smelled of coffee and old books. They walked through the aisles, smiling at each other, remembering how it all began. And in that quiet coastal town, where waves whispered secrets and sunsets painted the sky, Ethan and Emily's love story proved one undeniable truth. Real love doesn't fear distance, it doesn't fear time, it doesn't fear life itself. True love waits, fights, and ultimately becomes home.